In Chapter 1, Isla realizes Grimm has bound their lives together. If one dies, both perish. Oro hesitates to kill Grimm because it would kill Isla too. Grimm reveals he sought to open the portal to another world, where souls can resurrect solely to save Isla. Isla finally understands her prophetic vision of Grimm causing mass death was actually a reflection of her own devastating power. Horrified by her past actions and Grimm's willingness to doom Lightlark and the other realms for her sake, Isla confronts him. Grimm confesses that his love for her outweighs everything else, willingly accepting monstrous consequences. Isla demands Grimm stop the war immediately, and Grimm complies, recalling his forces and sealing away the sword controlling the Drex. Isla feels guilt over Grimm binding their lives together, knowing her survival now endangers all of Nightshade. In Chapter 2, Isla returns to Nightshade, determined to stop Grimm from destroying Lightlark. To ensure Grimm doesn't plot without her knowledge, she decides to act fully as his wife, giving her access to vital information. Isla secretly steals healing elixirs to help her people, then attends a memorial for Nightshade's fallen, enduring hatred from Grimm's court. Grimm publicly announces their bond, proclaiming Isla as his queen, causing resentment among his subjects. Privately, Grimm reveals he lied about plans to conquer Lightlark merely to buy time because Nightshade faces deadly, worsening storms that threaten thousands. Isla, shocked by this danger, commits to helping Grimm stop the storms. She realizes Grimm intended to use the portal not only to save her life but his realm as well. Despite lingering distrust and anger, Isla and Grimm agree to cooperate, though she warns she'll kill him if he betrays her again. In Chapter 3, Isla decides she must control her dangerous power to avoid harming innocents again. She secretly visits the blacksmith, who agrees to craft enchanted metal cuffs called Shade Maid to restrain her abilities. In exchange, he demands Isla eventually kill him, as only her flare can circumvent his immortality. Reluctantly, she agrees. Afterward, Grimm introduces Isla officially as his wife to Nightshade's court, publicly claiming their marriage is key to conquering Lightlark, a strategic lie meant to buy time. Isla confronts Grimm violently, suspecting betrayal, but he clarifies he has no true intention of invasion. Instead, Nightshade faces deadly storms threatening the realm. Isla proposes finding an alternative to the portal together, hoping to protect both Lightlark and Nightshade. Despite Grimm's plea for reconciliation, Isla makes it clear she cannot forgive his manipulations. Determined to prevent further tragedy, Isla secretly resolves to hide her true emotions and motivations from Grimm. In Chapter 4, Isla seeks to contain her powers and meets the blacksmith, who crafts magical bracelets to restrain her abilities. In exchange, he demands she eventually end his cursed immortality. Isla then decides to secretly search for Cleo and the Oracle sisters, believing they can clarify her deadly prophecy. Meanwhile, Grimm reintroduces Isla to Wraith, the once small dragon who has grown enormous. Isla strategically uses Grimm's regret over deceiving her to extract a promise that he'll never again plan behind her back. Grimm reveals Nightshade faces deadly storms bringing vicious creatures, which threaten the realm's survival. Isla, determined to understand and stop the storms, accompanies Grimm to a devastated village, confirming their destructive power. The villagers' fearful accounts of past attacks reinforce the urgency of their mission. Days later, the storm season begins earlier than expected, escalating the threat Isla must now confront. In Chapter 5, Isla risks flying into a deadly storm on Wraith to find Cleo's fleet and the captured Oracle sisters, seeking answers to change her fate. She finds Cleo's ship but discovers Cleo already killed the Oracles after extracting their prophecies. Cleo refuses to share any of their predictions, leaving Isla desperate and without guidance on how to navigate her deadly future. Isla returns to Nightshade feeling powerless and isolated, knowing her choices could lead to catastrophic deaths, including her own. Her turmoil deepens, realizing no option will spare both Grimm and Oro. The next morning, Isla receives unexpected visitors. Her guardians have arrived, setting the stage for new complications. In Chapter 6, Isla confronts her former guardians, Terra and Poppy, who unexpectedly claim they didn't kill her parents. Isla is suspicious, but cannot confirm the truth without her powers. Grimm intervenes protectively, reinforcing Isla's position as queen. Terra reveals that all the Nightbane flowers, a critical resource for Nightshade's healing elixirs, have been destroyed by the storms. Realizing the storm's increasing devastation threatens their survival, Isla resolves to investigate their origins. Grim mentions mysterious prophets who live atop a perilous mountain, accessible only through a deadly climb. Grim himself was previously refused entry, and others who attempted it died. Despite the danger, Isla insists she must try, hoping the prophets will speak to her, offering guidance about the storms and her deadly prophecy. Grim reluctantly agrees, warning that within the mountain all powers are nullified, making the climb even more perilous. Together, they prepare to face the dangerous climb. In Chapter 7, Isla and Grim undertake a dangerous climb to reach a hidden group of prophet followers atop a sacred mountain, hoping to learn how to stop the deadly storms plaguing Nightshade. Facing perilous creatures, near drowning, and serious injuries, they barely survive. At the summit, only Isla is permitted entry. The prophet followers tell her the storms originate from a hidden, unstable portal on Nightshade which must be closed. They also warn Isla of a traitor among her wildlings who destroyed the critical Nightbane fields. Isla learns the prophet had accurately predicted all past events, reinforcing the likelihood her deadly prophecy will indeed come true. To understand her fate, Isla is directed to an augur who studies blood and may tell her how long she has left to live. Back at the palace, Grim discovers Isla secretly gave their scarce healing elixirs to Lightlark, deepening tensions but revealing Grim's willingness to understand her actions. In Chapter 8, Isla visits Azul and reveals the prophecy, trusting him to keep her accountable. Azul warns her of an impending catastrophic storm, advising her to close Nightshade's hidden portal, the storm's source. To aid her, he gifts a stormfinch, which sings before storms arrive, and a stormstone ring, which can guide her to the portal. He also returns Isla's diamond ring, now infused with power. Returning to her old room, Isla examines Aurora's mysterious feather, discovering its tip is razor sharp. Although uncertain of its purpose, Isla senses it holds hidden significance. The prophet's warning of another traitor haunts her. Isla realizes she must identify this new betrayal before it's too late. In Chapter 9, Isla investigates her suspicion that a wildling poisoned the Nightbane fields. Visiting her people, she learns snakes appeared during the storm, aligning with Ada's cryptic advice. Despite thorough questioning, she can't identify the traitor. Isla discovers Ren has brought venomous snakes from their homeland, whose venom has healing properties, but Isla still trusts Ren. Later, she overhears Grim's council accusing her of treachery. Grim defends her, silencing dissent violently. Isla realizes the council is right. She's deceiving Grim about her intentions, possibly fulfilling the prophecy herself. Haunted by unanswered questions, Isla resolves to seek out the augur who can reveal how long she has left to live. In Chapter 10, Isla hunts and kills criminals to gather hearts as payment for the augur, who studies blood to reveal her lifespan. After multiple offerings, the augur finally grants Isla entry into his cave. Inside, she is submerged in a pool of blood, which amplifies the augur's power. He tells her she will not survive past the storm season unless she finds a way to extend her life. He reveals two methods: blood rituals like his own, or ancient markings called skyres, knowledge lost with the prophet. The augur urges Isla to locate the portal, stating its power is tied directly to her fate and survival. He adds that crucial stolen pages detailing the portal's location were taken to Lightlark centuries ago. Lastly, he shows Isla a disturbing depiction of her possible future, warning she will return, as it is already written. In Chapter 11, Isla learns she must find the portal to survive the storm season. Feeling isolated, she distances herself from Grim, though his attempts to connect with her continue. After a tense encounter, they nearly kiss, revealing lingering feelings. Isla is attacked in her room by Tynan, a Nightshade noble plotting to kill her and invade Lightlark. Lynx saves her, and Isla kills Tynan, publicly executing him to send a message. Isla later bonds with Aster, Grim's general and her cousin, learning details about her father, who had betrayed Grim by hiding a powerful sword. Lastly, Isla discovers a mysterious message in Aurora's handwriting, hinting her presumed dead friend might still be alive, deepening Isla's confusion and urgency. In Chapter 12, Isla discovers Aurora's enchanted feather allows communication from beyond death, containing a shred of Aurora's soul. The blacksmith reveals the feather's enchantment originates from the other world, where he himself came from. Isla continues struggling emotionally, haunted by memories of her parents and Oro through her bond with Lynx. Isla and Grimm share an intimate moment, growing closer. Grimm suggests holding a second, public wedding to dispel rising suspicions among Nightshade's people, who believe Isla is a spy. Isla reluctantly agrees, knowing it will end any remaining bond with Oro. She realizes they desperately need to locate the portal soon, but have found no other leads without a storm. The urgency to secure her survival and the realm's safety intensifies as time quickly runs out. In Chapter 13, Isla continues hunting criminals by night, earning herself the nickname Heartripper. She forms an unexpected bond with Saoirse, a woman whose life she saved. Despite initially rejecting her, Isla begins to trust Saoirse, joining her briefly at a local bar and hearing positive views of Grimm as a ruler who actively protects his people. Isla learns Grimm has personally ensured his people's safety for years, deepening her internal conflict over him. One night, Lynx alerts Isla to an intruder outside her room. When she investigates, she's stunned to find Oro at her window, alive, creating a new and dangerous complication in her already fragile life. In Chapter 14, Oro arrives secretly at Isla's room, concerned about their weakened bond. Before Isla can fully process his unexpected visit, the Stormfinch sings, signaling a critical storm that could lead them to the portal. Isla hurriedly distracts Grimm from discovering Oro, joining him on Wraith to intercept the storm. During the intense tempest, Isla successfully captures storm energy in Azul's ring, but soon loses it. The storm escalates violently, disabling Grimm's powers and injuring them severely. Suddenly, a massive, lightning-breathing creature emerges from the clouds, overwhelming them and striking Wraith, causing them to plummet uncontrollably toward the ground. Isla's vital chance at locating the portal and extending her life appears lost, leaving their fate uncertain. In Chapter 15, Isla and Grimm survive the storm, but Wraith is gravely injured protecting them. Grimm's power briefly returns, allowing him to save them by portaling into the sea. Isla distracts Grimm, desperate to hide Oro, who is secretly waiting in her room. Oro begs Isla to return with him, but she cruelly rejects him, hoping he'll stop endangering himself. Isla returns Oro's necklace, breaking his heart, but before she leaves, Zed bursts in and shoots her with an arrow, severely wounding her. Isla escapes back to Grimm, who heals her, enraged by her refusal to identify her attacker. Isla's secrecy protects Oro, but leaves Grimm furious. Injured and heartbroken, Isla accepts that she can never safely return to Oro or Lightlark. In Chapter 16, Nightshade reels from the storm's devastation, losing countless lives and homes, with creatures emerging from the portal, escalating the urgency for Isla to find it. Isla, unable to locate Azul's lost ring needed to track the portal, struggles with guilt as Wraith recovers slowly from injuries. Grimm grows distant, busy with the aftermath. Isla finds comfort with Saoirse, learning the storm destroyed Saoirse's childhood home. While hunting criminals at night, Grimm confronts Isla, revealing he knows she's the Heartripper. Grimm accepts Isla's violence without judgment, challenging her to kill him if she desires. Their encounter reignites their intense connection, but Grimm leaves abruptly, reminding her of their impending wedding ceremony. Isla remains conflicted about Grimm, Oro, and her fate. In Chapter 17, Isla marries Grimm again in a lavish ceremony designed as a distraction from the storm's devastation. Etta, the prophet follower, officiates, declaring their union fated. Despite her internal conflict, Isla acknowledges her love for Grimm and is moved by his genuine affection. During celebrations, a guard urgently informs Grimm that hundreds of graves have been desecrated. Evidence points to a wildling traitor, with snakes signaling the culprit. Isla immediately confronts Terra and Poppy, accusing them of betrayal, including destroying the Nightbane and plotting against her life. They deny involvement, but Isla's fury is unstoppable. Overcome with anger and mistrust, she orders Grimm to imprison them, asserting her authority and signaling her transformation into the ruthless ruler others fear she could become. In Chapter 18, Isla imprisons her guardians, Terra and Poppy, convinced they are traitors responsible for recent attacks. Desperate to locate the lost ring and the portal, Isla seeks the blacksmith's advice, discovering a forbidden ancient power known as Skyriz, capable of tracking lost objects. Determined, she contacts Aurora through magical parchment. Aurora promises to teach Isla the dangerous art of Skyriz for redemption. Later, Isla meets Saoirse, who poisons and kidnaps her. She awakens surrounded by prophet followers who believe Isla is the prophesied savior destined to save or destroy the world. In a twisted ritual, they force Isla to kill them, believing their sacrifice serves her destiny. Overwhelmed by horror and guilt after unintentionally killing Saoirse and the others, Isla retrieves her starstick, deeply shaken and now uncertain if she's truly destined to save Lightlark or destroy it. In Chapter 19, Isla imprisons her guardians, convinced they're traitors sabotaging Nightshade. Desperate to find the lost ring and close the deadly portal, Isla visits the blacksmith, discovering a powerful ancient marking called a Skyru capable of tracking objects. She learns the Skyru requires part of the lost item, which she lacks. Isla reluctantly contacts Aurora, her deceased betrayer, who knows Skyrus, seeking redemption. While hunting, Isla is drugged by Saoirse, awakening surrounded by prophet followers who reveal she's destined either to save or destroy their world. To Isla's horror, they force her into unwillingly killing them, believing it fulfills prophecy. Later, Isla investigates her father's past, discovering his interest in exploration, curses, and maps. In his abandoned room, she finds maps, including one marking a mysterious, undeveloped land named Isla, leaving her stunned and confused about its significance and what it might mean for her fate. In Chapter 20, Isla explores her father's hidden room and discovers a mysterious island named after herself. Curious, she portals there and finds the island flourishing with abundant fruit and life, completely unknown to Nightshade. Realizing its potential, she secretly provides food to Grimm's people. She unleashes her restrained powers freely on this deserted island, temporarily soothing the dangerous force inside her. Later, Isla hallucinates serpents guiding her through the castle, ending at a mirror reflecting her wrapped in snakes, unsettling her. A sudden storm hits Nightshade, bringing violent tornadoes infused with metal that block Isla's abilities, preventing her from closing the dangerous portal. Unable to capture the storm, she watches helplessly as devastation spreads. Realizing time is running out and desperate for answers, Isla finally decides to seek help from Aurora, her former friend and betrayer, despite the risks involved, and asks Aurora's spirit to teach her about Skyrs. In Chapter 21, Isla learns from Aurora how to create a Skyr, a marking made from shade-made metal and powerful blood that channels and controls her deadly abilities. Using a ruby heirloom and Aurora's instructions, Isla painfully carves a Skyr into her skin, successfully gaining precise control over her powers. Desperate to find the lost portal, she seeks more Skyrs from Aurora, growing dangerously reliant on her former enemy. Isla then visits Grimm, and they share an intimate conversation, where Grimm reveals Nightshade's brutal past. His father had slaughtered Grimm's siblings to consolidate power. Understanding each other's darkness and loneliness, Isla fully embraces her love for Grimm. Accepting their bond, she chooses to spend what little time remains with him knowing her fate draws near. Despite this acceptance, Isla still resolves to find a way to close the portal and change her destiny, willing to risk anything, including her soul, to succeed. In Chapter 22, Grimm brings Isla to the abandoned Winter Palace in Algid, his childhood home in Nightshade's frozen north. Grimm shares painful memories of his lonely upbringing and his father's cruelty. The palace contains ancient texts curated by Grimm's ancestors, exactly what Isla secretly needs to learn more about Skyries. As they explore, Isla and Grimm deepen their connection, visiting a nearby village disguised as commoners. For the first time, Grimm relaxes, sharing intimate details about his difficult past and how he discovered his flare. Isla briefly reflects on the rarity of inherited flares, noting her own as unusual. During their stay, Isla gently extracts information about the palace library, ensuring it holds the historical texts she needs. Despite hiding her true motive, researching Skyrs to control her fate, Isla genuinely embraces her growing love for Grimm, determined to enjoy their remaining time together, even as she plans her next move. In Chapter 23, Isla and Grimm explore a powerful maze behind the Winter Palace, built around the coffin of Cronan, a Nightshade ruler, where all abilities are neutralized by shade-made metal. Isla notes this vulnerability as Grimm guides her safely through. Afterward, Isla searches the palace library secretly for a cursed book that Aurora instructed her to find. Her unique flair allows her to open the book, which reveals a mysterious Skyr that could help her control her powers or find the portal. Although hesitant, she considers testing it. Meanwhile, Isla's relationship with Grimm deepens, becoming more trusting and intimate, but she continues hiding her true intentions. Grimm introduces her to a lively village nearby, where he suggests Isla might find happiness. Despite genuine affection for Grimm, Isla remains focused on the Skyer, understanding that controlling her abilities and ultimately closing the portal is vital to saving them all. In Chapter 24, Isla discovers the maze at the Winter Palace neutralizes powers, making it dangerous. Isla secretly uses a cursed book containing powerful Skyers to search for clues to close the portal. She learns bones hold greater power than blood for Skyries. Attempting to retrieve bones from Cronin's coffin within the maze, she's attacked by storm creatures, releasing a demon from the cursed book for protection. Finding Cronin's coffin empty, Isla realizes his bones created the portal itself. Severely injured, Grimm rescues her, finding both the book and the Skyer marking on her arm, exposing her secrets. Isla confesses partially, admitting the coffin is the portal but hiding her deeper motivations. Grimm confronts Isla about her hidden Skyer, challenging their fragile trust. This revelation forces Isla to face consequences, knowing her secrets could unravel her alliance with Grimm and jeopardize their mission to close the portal. In Chapter 25, Isla confesses to Grimm about using Skyries and the Augur's warnings about her fate. Grimm initially opposes, unwilling to sacrifice Isla's soul, but eventually respects her choice. He reveals he'd hoped to have a child with her as a solution, but acknowledges it's impossible given her limited lifespan. Isla visits the Augur, who provides her with a tooth from the prophet, which could track the lost pages explaining portals. Meanwhile, graves across Nightshade are found emptied of bones, causing panic. Terra and Poppy, imprisoned, maintain their innocence under Isla's interrogation. Isla secretly experiments with Skyries, nearly dying in the process. Grimm reports an attack on a Nightshade town by someone described exactly like Isla, implicating her as a powerful wildling traitor. Despite Grimm's defense, suspicion falls on Isla, revealing an enemy, deliberately framing her and further complicating her mission to save Nightshade. In Chapter 26, a village is destroyed, and survivors identify Isla as the attacker, sparking suspicion even in herself. Despite Grimm's unwavering trust, Isla questions whether her uncontrollable powers caused the devastation unknowingly. Later, Nightshade Castle is attacked by an army resembling Grimm's soldiers. Isla is abducted and taken underground by a powerful wildling woman who closely resembles her. The woman reveals she led the attack on Nightshade, aiming to kill all Nightshades and remake the world. Isla attempts to kill her, but discovers the woman is invincible, regenerating without blood. As snakes move from Isla to this mysterious wildling, she finally identifies herself as Lightlark Crown, revealing her true identity, shocking Isla with the realization that they're connected. In Chapter 27, Isla meets her ancestor, Lightlark Crown, who reveals she was betrayed by Cronin, imprisoned underground to sustain Nightshade's power. Lark explains Cronin created the portal and is still alive, having fled to another world. Isla learns Lark unleashed an army of reanimated, unkillable soldiers responsible for attacking Nightshade. Isla and Grimm battle relentlessly, barely holding back Lark's forces. Isla visits the blacksmith, Farrar, who provides her with powerful Shade-made armor to fight Lark, then requests Isla kill him to prevent Lark from exploiting his abilities. Isla complies, devastated. Discovering Grimm and Oro kept Lark's existence hidden from her, Isla feels betrayed. Realizing Lark cannot be killed, Isla devises a desperate plan. Send Lark through the portal and close it permanently. To achieve this, she returns to Lightlark alone, hoping to locate the Prophet's missing pages containing instructions for operating the portal. In Chapter 28, Isla portals to Sun Isle, seeking the Prophet's missing pages, guided by the Enchanted Tooth. She encounters impenetrable gates and is stopped by Oro, who believes she attacked his warriors. Isla explains about Lark and the army of the dead, and Oro reveals he knew about Lark all along, angering Isla. Oro opens the gates with his bloodline's power, and together they enter a scorching desert where their abilities weaken. Trapped by a sandstorm, Isla captures its power using Azul's Stormstone. Inside a cave affected by the storm's magical intensity, Isla nearly gives in to suppressed feelings for Oro, but he refuses, warning her the storm heightens emotions. Drained by heat and magic, Isla falls asleep, still haunted by her complicated feelings for Oro as they move closer to finding the missing pages needed to stop Lark. In Chapter 29, Isla retrieves the Prophet's missing pages hidden behind massive gates on Sun Isle. Oro confronts her, initially accusing her of murder, but Isla explains Lark's attack and army of the dead. Oro admits he kept Lark's existence secret, fearing Isla would release her. Together, they enter dangerous territory, battling scorching heat and deadly sandstorms, and find a hidden tomb containing the prophet's page with portal instructions. Isla and Oro also discover Horus Ray's body and retrieve a powerful relic, a bone. Knowing Oro may oppose her risky plan, Isla secretly steals the relic and flees through a magically controlled sandstorm, determined to return to Nightshade to confront Lark. Despite lingering love for Oro and guilt over betraying him again, Isla remains focused on her mission to use the relic and Skyries to banish Lark forever, knowing it's their only hope. In Chapter 30, Isla flees through Sun Isle, but is confronted by Oro, who feels betrayed after she stole the relic. They clash, and Oro reveals he cannot escape his feelings for her, yet Isla pushes him away to protect them both. At the island's gates, they find their exit blocked by Lark's bloodless soldiers, threatening their mission to save Nightshade. Trapped, Isla uses her necklace, summoning Grim for aid. Grim immediately attempts to kill Oro, stopped only by Isla's intervention. With Lark's threat clear, Isla convinces Oro and Grim to put aside their rivalry and unite against a common enemy. She declares that their only hope is to send Lark through the Nightshade portal, banishing her from their world forever. Reluctantly, the two kings set aside their hatred, acknowledging Isla's leadership as they prepare for their final stand against Lark's endless army. In Chapter 31, Isla gathers Grim, Oro, Enya, and Calder to devise a plan against Lark, aiming to lure her out, injure her temporarily, and banish her through the Nightshade portal using a cursed blade, crafted by Remlar. They discover Cronin's sword and relics have vanished, complicating their strategy. Grim and Zed leave to find a renowned thief. Isla and Oro search for Remlar, confronting unresolved tensions as Isla reveals the prophecy about killing either Oro or Grim. Remlar agrees to curse a shade-made blade. Afterward, Isla learns Lark used her star stick to portal onto Lightlark, confirming the threat's immediacy. Isla loses her connection to Grim's power, prompting panic and loss of control. They face attacks by undead forces, including Ren and the Serpent Woman. Isla unleashes uncontrolled power to defeat them, but accidentally injures Oro severely. The chapter ends with Oro gravely wounded, and their plan against Lark in jeopardy. In Chapter 32, Oro is severely wounded by Isla's uncontrolled power. Desperate, Isla manages to use her limited healing ability, saving him by channeling the sea's power. As Oro recovers, they reaffirm their love, despite Isla's fears and guilt about possibly killing him. Grim returns with the missing sword, revealing he was temporarily imprisoned. Isla finally shares the prophecy with Oro, that she's fated to kill either him or Grim. Later, Remlar reveals critical information. Killing Oro could end Nexus, freeing the realms from the curse binding rulers to their subjects. Remlar also confirms that Isla carries power from Lightlark's heart, marking her uniquely. Isla realizes she must make a painful choice involving Grim and Oro to defeat Lark, knowing neither might forgive her. Remlar encourages her, emphasizing the importance of her decision. Determined, Isla resolves to risk it all, aware of the devastating sacrifices ahead. In Chapter 33, Isla attempts to trap Lark by using a decoy heart, but Lark anticipates it. Isla briefly immobilizes Lark using a cursed blade provided by Remlar, but the curse fails when Lark reveals she has killed Remlar, breaking its power. Cleo, allied with Lark, captures Isla while Oro is critically injured again. Grim attempts a rescue, but Isla, realizing their danger, uses her remaining strength to portal Grim and the others away to safety. Isla is then imprisoned by Lark using her power-blocking bracelets, leaving her powerless. Lark plans to use Isla as leverage, threatening to kill Grim and Oro to break her resistance. Isla is chained, unable to escape, as Lark leaves to enact her brutal revenge. Isla is left knowing she must escape, or everyone she loves will die. In Chapter 34, Isla accidentally stabs Oro during an uncontrollable burst of power, fulfilling part of the prophecy. Desperate to save him, she uses healing techniques Oro taught her, along with Grim's powers, successfully stabilizing his wound. Oro confesses his enduring love for her despite the betrayal and her marriage to Grim. Grim and Zed arrive, rescuing them by portaling back to safety, though Grim reluctantly helps heal Oro. Isla learns from Remlar that killing Oro would release the power trapped within his bloodline, ending Nexus, and that she herself embodies the combined power of the sky, dirt, and below, the only one who can break the Nexus curse. Isla decides she must face Lark directly, preparing to use the bone and instructions she retrieved. As they prepare to confront Lark, Isla struggles deeply with guilt, knowing she may still have to kill Oro or Grim to save Lightlark. In Chapter 35, Isla returns to the Wildling Castle in the Newlands, confronting her guardians Terra and Poppy, who confirm she unintentionally killed her own parents at birth, suppressed thereafter by a metal that blocked her true powers. She realizes she has always absorbed power through death, including accidentally acquiring Farar's blacksmith abilities. Using his powers, Isla breaks free from Lark's restraints, understanding that she has always unknowingly fed on death, gaining others' abilities each time she killed. With her newfound strength, Isla unleashes devastating power to escape, determined to face Lark and end her threat. She mourns Remlar, promising justice. Isla reunites with Grim and reveals her plan to unleash a storm powerful enough to confront Lark. Declaring that everything ends now, Isla instructs Grim to gather their allies, Oro, Enya, Calder, and Zed, preparing them for the final confrontation, revealing that she herself will summon the ultimate storm to defeat Lark. In Chapter 36, Isla discovers a hidden home her parents built on her island, finding a letter from her father revealing crucial truths. Her father, once loyal to Nightshade, betrayed Grim's ancestor to prevent war and secretly married her wildling mother, whose flair was seeing the future. Isla learns she accidentally killed her parents at birth due to overwhelming innate power, suppressed by her guardians with metal-infused clothing and food. Her father explains that her mother foresaw Isla's difficult destiny. She would carry his flair immediately, but not her mother's prophetic ability. Not yet. A bracelet containing her mother's foresight awaits her if she chooses to know the future. Isla is overwhelmed by her parents' unconditional love and sacrifice despite knowing she would cause their deaths. Torn but resolved, she wears the bracelet without activating it yet, readying herself for the imminent confrontation, and prepares to return home for the final battle against Lark. In Chapter 37, Isla finalizes preparations for the decisive battle against Lark. After evacuating Nightshade, Grim confirms all their allies are ready. Isla, now wielding immense powers from a newly made Skyer using Godbone, unleashes a colossal storm that tears open a portal, raining monsters onto the battlefield. Grim, Oro, Enya, and Zed fight desperately on the ground, while Isla battles from above, eventually destroying Lark's gigantic creature using the Drex and Azul's storm-trapping rings. Just when victory seems assured, Cleo betrays Lark, briefly aiding Isla. Isla, armored in Farar's creation and wielding Cronin's sword, confronts Lark. In a final maneuver, Isla uses Grim's portaling ability to trap herself and Lark at the center of the maze, where Isla plans to end the fight once and for all. In Chapter 38, Oro and Grim anxiously wait for Isla at Farar's forge to help her seal the portal and defeat Lark. Oro grows suspicious when Isla delays, and Grim admits Isla never revealed her full plan to him. Oro realizes Isla intends to open and close the portal herself, having secretly taken their powers. He concludes she has devised her own strategy, likely one involving self-sacrifice, to circumvent the prophecy that predicts she will kill either Grim or Oro. Oro's revelation shocks Grim, who until now was unaware of the prophecy's existence and its implications for Isla's fate. In Chapter 39, Isla faces Lark in the maze, using combined abilities from all 6 realms to battle her. She realizes her true power by embracing the darkness and strength from every death she has caused. Isla tricks Lark using a feather that weakens her, connected to Aurora and Starling power. Using Cronin's tomb, Isla opens the portal herself, revealing she had never needed Grim and Oro. Isla intends to push Lark through and follow her to the other world, Skyshade, to kill Lark there, steal her resurrection power, and bring back all those she had killed, her ultimate chance at redemption. In Chapter 40, Grim and Oro battle desperately through Drex to reach Isla within the cursed maze. Powerless to portal, Grim relies on Isla's leopard to guide them. The leopard breaks through, leading them to the maze's center, but they're too late. Grim witnesses lightning strike, destroying Cronin's coffin and signaling the portal's closure. Only a charred circle and a feather remain, confirming Isla and Lark have entered the otherworld portal. Grim, devastated, realizes Isla sacrificed herself, chasing redemption by facing Lark alone in Skyshade.